Hi everyone. So a few days ago, my daughter asked me about references in an essay she was writing. She wasn't aware that there's a referencing system in Microsoft Word, and I promised that I would show her how to do it. And as such, I'm going to show you as well. So let's get into it. Let's have a look. Okay, so what we have here is a short essay in Latin. And the reason it's in Latin is so we're not distracted by whatever it is that was written about, unless you happen to be studying Latin, in which case you can tell me what it means. So it looks like we've got some references in here already. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's put in a bibliography so we can see how that works. So under references up here, we have the citations and bibliography menu. If I click on bibliography, I'm going to see we've got bibliography, references, works cited, which all seems to be the same to me apart from the title, and insert bibliography, which inserts a bibliography but in plain text, i.e. it's not updatable. So I'm going to click on bibliography, and there you'll see these are the references that are being referenced within the document. So why are we using numbers to reference? Well, the style of this referencing this style of this referencing methodology is ISO 690. If we wanted to change that, there are a number of different methodologies, one of which is Harvard, and I know that's one of the ones that my daughter is using. So let's switch to Harvard and we'll see what happens. As we see, the citations change from numbers to the author and the date, and the bibliography also gets updated into the Harvard style. So how do I manage my references? How do I manage my sources? How do I curate the sources that I'm going to reference? So under Manage Sources, we'll see we have a master list and we have a current list. Now this is likely to be blank if you've never used the sources function in Microsoft Word before. But this master list, if you click on Browse, it lives here under your profile. If you were working on a number of different projects that had a great many different references, you might want to have multiple source files. These references are references that I've used before. The current list are references that I'm using in the current document. If I wanted to add a reference to the current document, we're going to add this reference. I'm going to copy it across and it will move over to here. Once we've added it over here, we can then add it as a reference within our document. But it will also, if you notice, these ticks, let's move this over a little bit, the ticks indicate references that are being used in the current list of references for the current document. So if we look at, for example, Bruce Edwards, Bruce Edwards is not being used and yet he still appears within the bibliography. If we want him to not appear in the bibliography, then we must remove him. We can delete him from here. He will still exist over here in our master list, but for now, we don't want him to appear in the bibliography. Okay, so we've added Bill. We want to add him as a reference. Click close here into our document. Reference is here. We're going to add him in. We're going to insert the citation. So as we're typing, we can add in references and add in the citations from our list, but we might also want to add a new source, or we might want to add a placeholder. Don't want to write it right now, but we're going to call this Bob, and that is now a placeholder. So there we have our placeholder, and it's indicated as a placeholder because of question mark. Okay, so if I click on Edit, then I can choose the type of source material that we're working with. So if it's a book that we're working with, we can type in the author. title. This is not a real book, by the way. And year, city, publisher, edition. Those are the standard fields for referencing a book. If it's a journal article, then it will be what journal name is it, what volume is it, what issue is it. If it's a report, then it's going to just be the year and the publisher and the city. If it's a website, then year, day, month it was published, but also the year, month, day that it was accessed. So there's lots of different options in here. And if you are in a book, for example, but you want to see all the different fields, you can click down here and you see all the different fields. So you're not limited, but when that's unticked, it shows you the suggested fields for the source type. If I come back to my document, I'll see that the citation has been updated to indicate that it was Bob Ross. And there was no date because we didn't put a date in. But my bibliography hasn't been updated. I click into my bibliography and click Update Citations and Bibliography. Then I will see that Bob Ross is now. I spelled something wrong. Well, that's easily fixed. I'm going to edit it. Okay, close. Update our citations and bibliography, and we're sorted. It's also worth noting while we're here that as I click onto my references, whether they're in the master list or in my current list for my current document, it shows me the citation. So it shows Ross ND. It shows what the bibliography entry will be, Ross BND. If I look at this particular reference, I can see there's multiple authors. If I click on edit, I can see multiple authors. If I click on edit here, I can manage those authors and I can change the order of them if I want to. And then the other one I wanted to point out is BBC News. Click on edit. There is no author for this article. It's a website article. There's no author. It's a corporate author, and therefore it's dealt with slightly differently. You put the author in here. And there is one last thing I want to show you. So Gartner embrace a passwordless approach to improve your security is not used. It's not cited. It doesn't have a tick next to it. Therefore, it's not used in the document. And that's fine. But it still appears within the bibliography, which is also fine. If we change our style, it's easier to see. If we go back to the numerical reference, ISO 690, what we'll see is Gartner is moved to the bottom. Bill is number 7, and he's there. References that haven't been used get moved to the bottom. If I use Bill somewhere earlier on, and he was a reference for this paragraph, and I inserted him there, he would become number 4. I would have to update my bibliography, and now he's number 4. Gartner has not been referenced directly in the text, but still appears as a source for the document. So that's it. Pretty easy, but remember, it's only easy when you know how to do it. So I hope this helps. Keep well, keep safe. Until next time.